Joseph. Today we're going to be looking at a couple of things. We're going to look at making the first sound on just the head joint, assembling the flute, and trying to play a D with proper hand position, okay?
Okay.
So on the latches on your instrument, you never want to open it while sitting down or having it on your lap because you run the risk of it falling out. So when we open the case for your instrument, you're just going to open up the latches and make sure that it's on a nice sustainable flat surface. Now the parts of the flute are as follows. This here is the head joint, and it is what you're going to be playing into. It's where you make your embouchure and where you blow in the air to be able to create the tone. This here is the foot joint, and it essentially facilitates the way in which you'll be able to play some of the lower tones as well as some of the notes to be able to have the full effect of the flute.
Okay.
And this is your main joint or your full body joint, which has the keys and the different tone holes and trill keys to be able to make it so that way you can play the rest of the notes.
Okay.
But for now, we're going to go ahead and just start with the head joint. So when you grab the head joint, never grab it just immediately like with your hand. What you want to do is you want to put either your pinky or one of your fingers onto the side of this open hole here, and then lift slowly.
Okay.
Now the way that the head joint is supposed to be facing is that the crown is going to be facing to the left of you. So you're going to have it turn like this.
Yeah.
Now the way to be able to create sound on the head joint, think of the word poo, like from Winnie the Pooh. Now say poo.
Poo.
That is the shape of the way that you're going to make your lips. You're going to make poo, and then you're going to want to, one, keep your teeth apart, so nice open kind of vowel. Bring the lips and the jaw down. So instead of thinking poo up here, you're gonna think poo down below. All right?
Yeah. Okay.
And when you blow the air, make sure that you're not pressing it out. What you want to do is you just want to have a nice steady airstream, and when you're blowing, blow down, kind of like you're aiming at your elbow. So the way that we bring the head joint up to us is we're not going to come to it. What we're going to do is we're going to bring it to our lips. And you want about maybe 1/3 of this little embouchure hole, this tone hole, to be covered with your bottom lip.
Okay.
So not too much, not too little, but just enough to cover it.
That?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when we play with the flute, what we want to make sure we do is we have a large amount of air. So we're going to breathe in for 4, and then we're going to play for 4, all right?
Okay.
And remember, what are the 3 things that we need to think about?
Poo.
Well, poo is one of them to make the embouchure.
Your jaw.
Yeah.
Bring it down.
Drop jaw, teeth apart,
Teeth
blow
apart.
down.
Okay.
So remember, get it ready.
Okay.
Bring it to your lip, 1/3. And I'll give you 4. We'll breathe in for 4 and play for 4, okay?
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 2.
Sorry. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 2, 3. So yeah, you're kind of creating a sound. Something that we can do to also make it a little bit easier is what you can do is you can put your palm on the hole here. Yeah, and it'll be able to make it a little bit easier to play. So for now, let's go ahead and just look at just you with the instrument.
Okay.
So show me how you put it up to your lip.
Wait.
All right, that's a good start. Just make sure that it's centered in the middle of your lip, the tone hole.
There.
And you want to cover it just a little bit more, so roll it in.
There.
Now, take in a nice deep breath and blow down. So that's a good start. So like I said, try to cover this up and make it a little bit easier.
See.
Yeah. You see how you're kind of getting a tone now? Make sure to not be dropping your head down. Make sure to have it nice and straight. You want to aim for that lower tone, not for that higher tone. So just kind of like blow in, make sure that you're aiming down.
All right.
Yeah, that's a good start. Okay. So let's try to work on that just a little bit more, just to try to get a nice, rich sound from the beginning, okay? Now, what it sounds like is the air's just going everywhere. So remember, when you're thinking poo, what you're actually doing is you're closing the circle around the lips to make a small little exit of the hole for the air. So you're not going. What you're actually doing is you're basically making the air go kind of like a tunnel to hit the inside of the flute.
Oh, okay.
So not
I see.
think
Okay.
nice, condensed, but still soft, but still with like good speed and good air pressure.
Okay.
So try it again and think that and keep that in mind. So what's happening right now is you're actually blowing a little too hard.
Okay.
Remember to keep the teeth apart and to also bring the jaw down, so that way it's easier. And like what I said, when you think poo, you're not thinking poo and then out. You're thinking poo, but still like not tight, just focused.
Okay.
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 Yeah, like that.
There we go.
That's a lot better.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
Cool. Yeah. No. Yeah.
So
I
let's
get
go ahead and try to do that real quick, just by yourself. And I'm gonna go a little bit quicker, just so that way you don't like pass out while trying to play. So I'm gonna give you 4. You'll breathe in for 4, and then you'll play for 4. Right?
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, and play. So you notice how like closer to the end you were starting to get a tone.
Mhm.
What is it that you changed?
I think I moved this. I think I had it too far forward, maybe.
Yeah, so what that means is you're probably not covering the embouchure hole enough. So you want to roll it in a little bit more and just try to like figure it out. Try to give it a chance.
Yeah.
Just by yourself. So keep playing. Go ahead. So what I notice right now is what you're actually doing is you're kind of like smiling. You're like doing this. You're. What you want to think also is to make sure that your corners are forward. That's why we think poo. Because if you say poo, but you have your corners packed like that, it looks like poo, and it doesn't look right. Poo brings the lips forward, and it also brings the corners forward. So think poo again. Think poo, 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 poo. Hold it. Say poo, poo. You see how your lips are a little more forward and your corners are more forward?
Yeah.
Try doing that. See, but that means that you're also already starting to get a little bit more. You're just getting the upper partial, which means that you want to actually just not slow down the air, and you want to just open it up a little bit more here.
Okay.
Because it's too tight right now. It's closer. All right. That first one that you did was good. Try that again. Try to recreate that. Relax a little. So I want you to just look at kind of what I'm doing real quick, so that way you can kind of like see the model.
Okay.
I'm gonna bring it forward. Just watch. Notice how it's still relaxed, but you can still hear the tone?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like you're trying just a little bit hard. Don't firm up too much.
Is that better?
Yeah. So let's go ahead and try to set up the instrument. So when you're setting up the instrument, we're gonna just look at a couple of things. You're gonna wanna make sure that you have the head joint. When you grab the body of the instrument, make sure to be careful not to be pressing down on any of the keys, or else you might bend them. And the head joint is not gonna go here at this end. It's actually gonna go on this more thick end. And what you wanna do is you just wanna wiggle it into place a little bit.
Okay.
And what you want to do to make sure that it's aligned is look at it from an angle. And you actually you want to line this tone hole, the embouchure hole, not so that way it's too far out, but actually so that way it's a little bit farther into the keys. So notice how you look here. The hole here is just a little bit past here. That's kind of what you want to go for, because if the hole is like out here, then you'd be playing the instrument like this, and that'd be incorrect.
Okay.
What you want is it so that way your wrists and your hands are comfortable and they just naturally rest on the flute as you hold it to your face.
That's right.
So that's a little too far out. You got it almost there. Just bring it in a little bit more. And that's pretty good. Yeah, around there. The last part that we're gonna just put onto the instrument is the foot joint. So when you get the foot joint, you obviously see that it goes here at the end. And what you want to align is you want to align this little rod here to the first tone hole.
This rod?
Yeah. So we're just gonna wiggle it in also and align it so that way this rod is linked up to here. You see it?
Yeah, I think
that's good. Cool. So when we hold the flute, what we're thinking of with our hand is you're kind of making like a relaxed C, or kind of like you're holding a hamburger. And then what you do with your left hand is you're gonna place it on this back paddle key.
Okay.
Kind of make a hook with your index finger and just wrap the fingers around to cover these holes.
Huh?
You see me?
Yeah.
And your pinky is just gonna rest and hover over this key. This little paddle here.
Okay.
And what the right hand is gonna do is you're gonna make a C with it also. The thumb is gonna just rest underneath the body of the instrument. And then you're just gonna relax the fingers and make a nice curvature with your fingers over these keys. And then this pinky is just gonna rest on this key that's on the foot joint. Okay?
Okay.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just try to make a D. And what that is, it's paddle back here, 2, 3, covering these two. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
So remember what I said about poop?
Yeah.
Bring it up to your face. And first I'm gonna play it so that way you have a reference of what it's gonna sound like. So 5, 6, 7.
Okay.
So why don't you go ahead and try it?
And not one, right? Just 2 and
Not
3?
one,
Okay.
yeah. Make sure that you're covering the holes completely.
Okay.
Use the squishier part of your finger to cover it up, the pad of your finger.
Okay.
Make sure not to be looking down.
Up. Am I missing it? Am I missing the hole?
So what it looks like is your bottom lip is actually coming in like this. So what you're doing is you're kind of like,
Oh, okay.
make sure that both the lips are coming out rather than just the top one covering it up, all right?
Let's see.
No pinky. No pinky. Make sure to be relaxed. You see, you hear the beginning tones of that? We're gonna keep working on it over time, but that's already a good start. What I want you to do is, for next time, just make sure to just work on the head joint and really try to focus on getting a nice sound to come out of that first, and we're gonna slowly work our way through the instrument, okay?
Okay.
But good job.
Fantastic.